Injuries are a part of basketball, and they are definitely the worst part of basketball. But generally, when a player gets a serious injury, they can still come back and either be just as good or still be good enough to remain in the NBA with some levels of success. But every once in a while, unfortunately, a player suffers a career-ending injury. One of those players was Jay Williams, a former Duke guard who was drafted by the Bulls in 2002. In his collegiate career, Jay Williams was unquestionably one of the best players in college. In his 3 seasons at Duke, he led them to a national championship win in 2001, and he had an average of 19.3 points and 6 assists, shooting 45% from the field and 39% from 3 in his collegiate career. Putting these stats into comparison, Isaiah Thomas in his collegiate career had averages of 15.4 points and 5.7 assists. John Stockton had averages of 12.5 points and 5.2 assists. Steve Nash averaged 14.9 points and 4.5 assists. And Magic Johnson averaged 17 points and 7 assists in his collegiate career. So Jay was looking like a future NBA great point guard. Going into the 2002 draft, the Houston Rockets with the first pick drafted Yao Ming. Jay Williams was unquestionably the more talented player, but the Rockets had Steve Francis at point and they couldn't turn down a 7'6" center. So with the second pick, the Bulls took Jay to be their franchise point guard. And unfortunately, Jay did not meet expectations in his rookie year, averaging 9.5 points and 4.7 assists, shooting 40% from the field and 32% from 3. Not awful numbers, but it was underwhelming for the expectations set for him. Still, he had shown flashes of greatness, and he was still considered to be an up-and-coming star. But this is where the story takes a dark turn. On June 19, 2003, Jay Williams was heading to his friend's house for dinner in Chicago. He headed to his friend's house on a motorcycle, which went against his NBA contract. If you don't know, there are a lot of situations NBA players are contractually obligated to avoid, such as going cliff diving or bungee jumping or riding a motorcycle. Any unnecessary risk must be avoided. Unfortunately, ignoring this rule in his contract is what ruined Jay Williams' career. On his way to his friend's house, Jay lost control of his motorcycle and he crashed into a utility pole with his left leg slamming into the pole, severing a main nerve in his leg, fracturing his pelvis, and tearing 4 ligaments in his left knee. Jay was rushed to the hospital and he spent 2 months in the hospital. In those 2 months, the Bulls, with the 7th pick in the 2003 draft, decided to select point guard Kirk Hinrich, proving to Jay that the Bulls were quick to move on and that they didn't see him returning to the NBA. Jay, in the hospital, really struggled mentally, saying, "You go from dunking on Yao Ming to the next day having a lady help you wash yourself." Jay wasn't able to walk until October, and Jay spent his time trying to get back into basketball form. He was bought out by the Bulls in 2004, and he attempted to make an NBA comeback with the New Jersey Nets, his hometown team. But this isn't a movie. Comebacks don't always work out. Unfortunately, Jay had lost every bit of athleticism in his body, and his skill set proved to be below average after years off from playing basketball at a high level. Jay was released by the Nets, and after that, Jay reached his darkest point. Jay, in his time in the hospital, had become addicted to Oxycontin, and he fell into a downward spiral after his failed comeback. And at his worst point, Jay grabbed a bottle of Jack Daniels, emptied a bottle of pills into his hand, and chugged it. He hoped to never wake up again, but luckily he did. After this, Jay decided to get sober, and he went on to be a college basketball analyst for ESPN. So this isn't some injury story where a player makes his way back towards being a great player through sheer determination. Jay didn't get back to NBA shape, but he found a different path as a college basketball analyst. He found his place in life, so in a way this story still has a very happy ending. I used a few different articles for this video that will be linked in the description. Be sure to check them out. That's the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NBA videos, and cue the outro music.